Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the P-Bandai exclusive, or P-Bandai exclusive, Robot Damashii Power Gem Ver Anime. Now for those who don't know where this gem was actually first seen in terms of the anime, in the animation series of Gundam, it was first seen in the 0083 Stardust Memory series. So for those who've seen the anime series, you might recognize this mobile suit. So, if you were wondering why you didn't see my usual intro scene, is that today when I was trying to take pictures of the figure, my DSLR has now officially died in front of me. So it won't focus anymore, it won't actually take any pictures. I've checked the internet to change some settings, I even factory reset it, and nothing is actually working. And now, yeah, it is officially dead. So, for a while, until I get a new DSLR camera, or basically a new camera to take pictures, I cannot guarantee any pictures for a while. Just to be clear, I have a separate, when it comes to videos, I have a separate camcorder, so yeah, I can still take videos. It's just that you won't be able to see my intro scenes for a while. Okay, so let's see what we got. So for now, I also brought out the previous Robot Damashii Gym Type C Ver Anime and its own HGUC counterpart right over there for comparison. So as usual, let's go over our usual checking the components. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the Power Gym, the mobile suit itself, and it looks very, very good. So when I first got the Gym Type C, I pretty much expected what to see and what to get, but with this one, I had definitely had a different feeling with this one, because keep in mind, I did review the HGUC version and I actually really liked that kit, but now this is one of the few cases where I actually like this much more better, and I'll get into that later why. So components wise, on the figure itself, you get two multi-purpose hands on left and right, and then you get you have a backpack which can be actually separated, and then we have a beam saber hilt on the left side, and then a antenna on back of the head. So because the antenna is actually a separate piece as well, the beam saber hilt actually comes with the backpack on it, so yeah, you don't need to worry about that as well. So other than that, here's some basic stuff. So the stuff that we can usually go on. So number one, we get a shield, their typical orange shield, and then we still have the manual handle here, which you can take it off or on of your preference. And then we have a bunch of shield connectors, or more like connectors. So number one, these two are basically the ones that you use to connect directly into the arm. If you don't want to use the handle, this is what you use. So you can see that the peg locations are different, so you can basically choose which way you want to attach the shield to the arm. This one is basically you attach the shield to the ball joint, and then you attach this peg to the backpack to store it in the backpack, which I actually need to check whether that is a possible thing. And then this one, instead of the shield, this is basically a weapon rack that you can store in the bazooka, as far as I know, onto the backpack. I'll do a demonstration if you can apply this onto the machine gun, which I believe is possible, because the machine gun actually clips on here, like in this kind of sense, or the other way around. So yeah. And yes, we still get your typical machine gun right over here, and then we still get your hyper bazooka, which this thing definitely looks much bigger than I imagined, and a removable ammo clip. You only get one ammo clip, so you won't be pretty much taking this off too often. And we have the moving handle and a swiveling middle section as well. And then you get a extra antenna just in case you lose or break the previous one, which is very good, because I personally think to any mobile suit, a antenna and the V-fins are way too important. And then we get a bunch of hands. So we get 5 sets of hands in total, including the one that's on the figure. So we get a set of opening hands, and then another set of slightly open hands, and then we get a set of trigger finger hands and a set of beam saber holding hands. And then, speaking of beam sabers, we get 2 beautiful effect parts. These are basically the same ones that you get as the GP01 Ver Anime. I definitely really love these effect parts. Alright, so everything you saw will be shown in the demonstration, so let's start the comparison before we go over the articulation. So number one, let's just get this out of the way. So let's do the comparison between these two for now. You can definitely see the Power Gym is definitely based on the Gym Type C. You can see where it came from. the body base, the arm base are pretty much the same. The changes would be pretty much the legs. I would pretty much say the legs. They changed these parts out with these orange sections as well, and then they changed the front skirts, and the body wise they added much more vents, and then obviously the backpack is different. So you can definitely see you can see where the base is from, but you can see there most of the changes, which are pretty obvious. And then a extra thing is that they added a extra crotch armor piece right over here like this, which can be detached as well, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, but I'm pretty sure for those who pre-order this or own this or basically want to get this are curious, like, how is it different from the HGUC version? Number one, you can definitely see the height is different, and number two, the HGUC version is looking much more bulkier. It definitely has it's shorter and bulkier and looks a little bit heavier. And number three, the tone of orange is very different. You can see the HGUC version uses a very bright orange, a little bit strong and bright orange, while the Robot Damashii version goes for a much more lighter version as well. And overall proportions are much more slimmer, but at the same time, the Power Gem definitely has that bulky image, but at the same time, while it still has the slim image, it still has that bulky, armored up image as well. So I think they did a really excellent job with the moldings on this figure, to the point where I think if I had to choose between the two, I would go for the Robot Damashii version for now. But don't get me wrong, the HGUC version is a very good kit as well. It's a very fun kit to try out. So yeah, if you want to try it out, definitely try it out. Alright, so let's go over the articulation. So pretty much if you have the Gym Type C for anime, you can kind of expect what to get from the articulation. So number one, we have the head, definitely a beautifully sculpted green visor on the head, and I believe the top here is just colored metallic green, not a clear piece, and same goes with the back. So the head can go down that much, up a lot than I thought, and then 360 twist, I would say it's possible despite the backpack. Now I said the backpack can be taken off, like this, and without the backpack I think the arm can move much more better, but still it should be pretty much the same. But I just wanted to give you the idea how the backpack works. So here we have the backpack on. So one thing I found a little bit odd is that we have these sections that move around for some reason, but still I guess this would help. I guess this is for not hindering the articulation, but even with the backpack the arm pretty much can move a lot to the top. So yeah, the articulation is not hindered or changed at all. So speaking of the arms, let's go for the basics. So we can rotate the arm 360. The arm can go 90 degrees to the side and then go upwards a little bit more. And then another rotation on the arm itself. And then we have a nice double jointed bend going on here, and your typical Robot Damashii hands where the ball joint is on the arm. And we have these holes which you can basically plug in the shield connectors right over here. And on the backpack here we have another hole for the the shield connector as well. Thruster wise, they do slightly move, but not too much. And basically if you have a bunch of the booster effect parts, you can attach to the feet, the back skirt area. I don't think there's one on the front skirt, and then these two sections right over here. So yeah. Okay, let's see what we got. So let's look at the body articulation. So the body articulation wise, it should be pretty basic as far as I remember. So we have a nice forward ab crunch going on there. Backwards, not so much. And then 360, I can't say it's possible because something is blocking the way. Something is like blocking me from doing so. I mean, I would assume you can force it, but I always say this forcing is never good. Now the front skirts, they are all separated pieces. Now the front skirts do, for now when I was trying to do a certain pose, the front skirts did pop off, but I guess that's a pretty regular thing in the Robot Damashii line at this point. Front skirts can move, back skirt does not move, and then we have a side skirt that does move a bit, and then I believe we should still have the place where we can store in the bazooka right over here. This section is supposed to open up. Come on. Yeah, but basically yeah, there we go. This section is supposed to open up, and then you should be able to store the bazooka right over here. I don't think the machine gun should work in this section right over here. And now looking at the legs, let's see how the connection is. The main connection seems to be a ball joint right over here, and then we have a hinge system where we can basically change the position of the main side / leg area. And then we have a nice side swivel. There is technically a side swivel, but because of how the ball joint connection is, it's not too noticeable. And I don't think the side swivel has much. Ooh, there we go. Doesn't have much movement, but still it pretty much works as a side swivel. There is slightly a side swivel, but it could be just too stiff on mine. And then we can go forward about 90 degrees. It's just the front skirt that's colliding with the knee armor, and then we have a nice double jointed bend. Backwards, not so much, and then we can go to the side 90 degrees. And then here we have the feet section right over here. Pretty much what you expect from the feet, pretty much ball joint connection. We have a nice pivot joint going on here. We have these nice ankle guards going on front and back. There is no toe bend for this one. For going down, but we have a toe bend for going a little bit slightly up, but not too much. So which does actually help. And I believe the back section should have a slightly movement, but it seems like it doesn't in this case. Alright, so we basically seen the basic articulation of the Robot Damashii figure. So if you have the Gem Type C, you should be able to, or pretty much any Robot Damashii ver anime at this point, you can kind of expect what to get for the articulation. But what I definitely do like is that this version maintains the slim look, but at the same time has that bulky look of the Power Gem. So once again, I'll be right back with the demonstrations. Okay, I'm back. So basically I gave the Power Gem the Hyper Bazooka on the right arm. Nothing on the left arm, but I did give the open hand because on the promo pictures, or at least on the back of the box, they were trying to do. I was trying to do this pose, but this pose seems a little bit impossible because number one, there's no way I can actually make him stand straight. It was the kneeling pose, unless I'm doing something wrong. Number two, every time I try to do this on the legs, the front skirt pops out a lot. So yeah, I decided to not do that. And basically, I went with a more Gundam Mark II-ish pose going on here. And on the backpack, I decided to store in the bell pump machine gun, or just the machine gun, I guess. So currently, the thing with the backpack storing the weapon is that same like the Gem Type C, you need to take off a small part, a cover part, and which reveals a hole, which allows you to attach the machine gun right over there. Either way, thanks to the moving handle and the swiveling middle section right over there, it's really much more easier to pose with in certain areas, and looks much more natural going on like this. So yeah, once again, the figure does not come with any effect parts. So yeah, I mean, I really love the bazooka effect parts, but yeah, it's just a damn shame that they don't give it too often. Alright, so I'll be right back with the second demonstration. Okay, I'm back. So currently I gave the left arm the shield, and the shield connector I use is the one that allows the shield to be connected on the lower section of the arm. And then on the right arm I basically gave it the machine gun and stored the bazooka onto the back skirt as well. So currently I went to try to go with a more charging / tackling pose with this, and I think I did okay, but I think I remember doing a similar pose with the HGUC version, and I think that worked a little bit more better as well. So yeah, I mean, the machine gun is pretty much what you expect, and there's no effect part for the machine gun as well. And everything works pretty well. The bazooka, of course, when you connect the bazooka onto the back skirt armor, it may not feel like a perfect fit, but it still works. And just to show you guys again, if you look at the backpack right over here, there's a hole there. That's where you connect the machine gun or the weapon, holder part, and this is the part that you use to cover it up. So yeah. Alright, so the only thing that's left is to show the beam saber effect part, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So basically, what now I did is basically gave the shield attached the shield to the right arm, and then gave it the beam saber hilt and the effect part onto the left arm. And this is not really mentioned in the manual, but I did store the bazooka not on the back skirt, but on the weapon rack that was given. So this is technically possible to do so, and for those who play Gundam Battle Operation 2, this might be a normal thing. Of course, I think the bazooka is actually facing downwards and actually folded up. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that you are still technically able to store the bazooka onto the back. And now usually I would give the beam saber to the right hand, but with the Gem Type C as well, the beam saber hilt is actually stored on the left side of the mobile suit, which is why I did this. And just to clarify, my thing is that in Gundam Battle Operation 2, you can actually, this is kind of a tight thing, is that in the game you can actually see the power gem. If you use the power gem with the bazooka, and then if you take out a different weapon out, the bazooka is always like facing in this kind of direction as well. Of course, in the Gundam Battle Operation 2 game, is that the bazooka actually folds up a bit. So yeah. And that's pretty much it for the review. The only thing I, once again, on the shield connector is that I gave the shield connector that allows the shield to be on the side of the arm. And that is pretty much it for the Power Gym review. So, once again, I definitely love the proportions much more than in the HGUC version, and the color seems much more appropriate. Instead of having a strong orange color, it has a much more light and mellow color going on here. Yeah. So proportion-wise, design-wise, I think this is much more better. Of course, that doesn't mean the HGUC version is a bad kit. It's actually a really fun kit, so do try it out. And once again, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the P-Bandai exclusive Robot Damashii Power Gym Ver anime. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out of, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time!